on television? Everything, and you can watch anywhere, anytime, on any device. Increasingly, we're watching TV on the internet. Cisco forecasts that video streaming will account for 78% of all mobile traffic by 2021. Which are you? Corded? That means you subscribe to cable or satellite. Cord frayers have no premium channels. Cord cutters, you've canceled cable or satellite. And never corders are, well, internet has always been your TV. You're digital natives. If you're rolling your eyes when that cable bill comes each month, here's just the guy. Luke Bouma's CordCuttersNews.com is a buyer's guide for spending less on television. Luke, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
The first thing I spotted on your website was the Channel Finder app. You enter your zip code and which story of the building your antenna's on, and up pops a channel guide, signal strength for each channel, even a map of where the towers are. Very cool. So we know we don't need a paid provider to see local news. And so-called skinny bundles like Sling TV start at $20 a month for 25 channel packages, including 3 ESPNs, CNN, TBS, TNT, AMC, and others. Now HBO will directly sell you just HBO. So, Luke, are cable giants like Comcast following suit, or are they living in denial that we want to pay for a bunch of channels we never watch?
It's a little bit of both. They're definitely in denial. Last week, the Wall Street Journal reported that in 2014, ESPN did a big study, and they said cord cutting is not going to happen. It's not going to grow. It's not going to continue to develop. Well, we've quickly proven them wrong on that. But increasingly, they are starting to try to find ways to address the growing trend. Americans want to watch their TV when they want, how they want, and they don't want to pay for only what they want. And that's launched a lot of live TV streaming services. Netflix has really benefited, Amazon, Hulu, and over 200 other streaming services across the United States are currently available.
Other than internet access, why do we need the cable company? What can we only get from cable or satellites like DirecTV and Dish?
Increasingly, nothing. For the vast majority of Americans, everything you want to watch is available through a streaming service or, like you said earlier, an antenna. The president of Tableau DVRs, which is a great over-the-air DVR, said that on average, 40 channels is what their average DVR picks up with an antenna nowadays. A lot has changed, and even for internet now, very rarely do you need Comcast or Sprint or some type of cable TV provider. They all offer increasingly DSL, fiber, and 5G launching later this year to make home internet much more competitive.
Back when The Sopranos was in first run, people weren't just subscribing to HBO to see it. They were getting connected to cable just to get HBO. Now, a generation later, shows like The Crown are driving memberships at Netflix, which you mentioned, shares of which, as of this week, are now worth more than Comcast or Disney. And it costs Netflix more than $10 million per episode to produce The Crown, and they will spend $7 to $8 billion this year on some 80 originals. And don't they have to? Because movies are non-exclusive and available everywhere, right, Luke?
It's kind of fun to be the person that everybody's chasing after you. And now with Netflix and Hulu and Amazon, they're all competing for your dollar. Back when it was just cable and maybe a satellite provider, you kind of had to accept whatever they were giving you. And now all these cable providers, Netflix, Hulu, all the streaming services, DirecTV now, Sling TV, are all desperate for your money, and they're pouring real money into not only making original content, but making a better overall experience. Competition has brought, for the first time, real options to the world of pay TV. And it's kind of a nice feeling to be wanted in the world of TV right now.
Something we won't see anymore on Netflix is Disney stuff, which Disney pulled when they partnered up with NBC Universal and News Corp and Time Warner at Hulu, which is another one of these so-called over-the-top TV services. I don't have Hulu, but I do have Netflix. And because I'm an Amazon Prime member, I get to watch all their video, including original programming. So how common is it for cord cutters to subscribe to multiple services, and do some of them end up spending as much as the cable or satellite subscription they ditched?
for the vast majority of cord cutters, you will save a ton of money. With Hulu and Netflix both combined costing less than $20 a month, and like you said, you have Amazon, many people get it for the free shipping, and hey, there's a ton of movies and TV shows included with that. A recent survey showed that most cable subscribers also subscribe to a Netflix, a Hulu, and Amazon service, so when they cancel the cord, they're already subscribing to one or more streaming service. That helps them keep their costs low, and with the average cable bill now being over $100, those $5 or $10 streaming services are a far cheaper option for most Americans. Is there always somebody out there who may want cable? Sure, there's always the hardcore TV fans that may prefer to have cable, but for the vast majority of Americans, you will save a lot of money. I personally save over $110 a month when we cut the cord, and our readers tell us about $80 to $100 a month is the average savings they get.
Well, the user has clearly taken control, and if you've had it up to here with that monthly cable bill, visit cordcuttersnews.com. We just showed their beginner's guide and live TV guide charts on screen. They are really cool and really useful, and you got some product reviews there for antennas and other stuff. Thank you, Luke Bouma, cordcuttersnews.com.
Thank you for having me.
Ilya Pozin is the Chief Growth Officer and co-founder of Pluto TV. He has helped launch numerous web and mobile apps, and you might read his columns in Inc. and Forbes magazines. He joins us from RT's studio in Hollywood. Ilya, welcome to The Big Picture.
Hey, thanks for having me, Holland.
Hey, Pluto TV offers over 100 channels and a bunch of on-demand movies free, unlike Sling and some of the other internet TV services. What's the catch?
You know, there's no catch. Just like, traditional TV, there's ads, right? So we are ad-supported. We have amazing free content from over 130 different content partners from big studios and networks, and we offer it to consumers completely free on an ad-supported basis.
You know, one of the things I love about Pluto is I'm finding channels there I have never seen on cable or satellite, and you are, I guess, to use an industry term, a curator, aren't you?
That's right. That's right. We assemble over 100 channels. Some of them we license and bring in from partners, like we have RT America, for example, and others we build ourselves and we put them together, something like Man Up or Pluto Movies or Action and things like that.
Very cool. I found Pluto TV on my Roku box, and I know you're on Apple TV and Chromecast and some of the other dongles. So I've watched on my computer at Pluto.tv, and you're in the smartphone app stores. Which devices do people use to watch Pluto TV the most?
Yeah, that's a great question. A lot of our users actually use multiple devices. So you can imagine maybe when you wake up in the morning, you're using it on your mobile phone, you get to work during lunch, you're on your computer. But the biggest use case where most people watch is just like traditional TV, and that's at home in the living room.
Based on what users are watching on Pluto TV, what have you learned about how we consume video on smartphones? Do users watch whole movies there, or does the mobile user favor shorter snack-size content?
You know, it actually varies. We have a lot of users that watch long-form content, full-length movies right there on their phone. And some of them, maybe they have only 15 minutes to kill and they're bored or something, and they watch, maybe some cat videos on our 24/7 Cats channel.
It had to happen, a 24/7 Cats channel. I remember when people didn't think a weather channel would fly. One of the things I like about the movie channels is it's like reading a book, because you can always resume where you left off, and I find that's how I use it on the phone. Is that typical?
It is. There's something to dropping in the middle of a movie and something nostalgic to it, right? But if you know exactly what you want to watch, we have a great on-demand section. If you don't know what you want to watch, our linear offering with our channels is perfect for you to figure out, what's on right now and drop in.
Now, if I'm not begging for proprietary information, what are the most popular channels and programs you have?
Yeah, I mean, that's not something we've disclosed, but I can let you know that, our users kind of fall into a few different buckets. You might be a news lover and watch tech. You might be into movies and watch lifestyle. Because we offer over 100 different channels and our content ranges all over the place, right? We have movies and TV shows and comedy and all sorts of programming. We find users, gravitate to a set of channels that they love, and they stick to them, but there's a lot of different types of users. So there's not really one channel or two channels that stand out. People really gravitate to the channels they actually love.
Now, I had to tell you how old I was when I signed up. Is there a demographic sweet spot for the Pluto TV viewer?
Yeah, we're very, very broad. We range all over the place, from very young to old, and but we do tend to over-index with millennials. But in general, our demo is very broad.
Well, not surprisingly, because after all, you're free. Binge watching is so popular now because there is a resistance to the way commercial TV has over-commercialized. Do you think that at some point you would evolve into a two-tier thing where there may be a freebie that's ad-supported, or you could pay to get with no ads, or do you think you're going to stick with the model you have now?
Right now we're completely focused on free, but a premium offering in the future is not out of the question.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, but in the meantime, I'm loving the free, and I appreciate your time. Ilya Posen from Pluto TV. Thank you for joining the Big Picture.
Thanks for having me.